Would you work an extra 130 days a year for about $2,300 per day? Because that's exactly what I was doing. And the crazy part is, I didn't even realize it. At my peak as an endodontist, I was working 5 to 6 days per week. Some weeks, it felt like non-stop root canals, 200 to 250 cases per month. That translated to between 2,500 and 3,000 root canal procedures per year. My income was 900,000 plus. By 99.9% of people's standards, that's extreme success. And honestly, I was proud of that work ethic. Unbelievable amount of income for someone who came from a poor immigrant family. But there was one problem. I never stopped to ask a simple question. Because to be honest, I didn't know to ask this simple question. Was the trade actually worth it? Now fast forward to today. I work 3 days a week, shorter days. Instead of 9 to 6, I work 10 to 4. Less volume of patients, more control over my schedule. I stopped working on Fridays, and my income from dentistry, it's still in the high $500s to $600,000 per year. I'm very grateful for a tremendous income. So one day, I sat down and did something most people never do. I ran the numbers. Not total income, time. The most valuable asset commodity that there is, period. Now, I reduced my working time by about 45%, almost half. But my income, very interestingly, didn't drop by 45%. It only dropped by 33%, which means my income, my average income per day actually went up about 20% higher per day. And that's when it hit me. At my old pace, I was working about 130 extra days per year. That extra income, roughly $300,000. So I reframed it. I wasn't making more money, but I was getting much more time. About $2,300 per day. And that forced me to ask a very uncomfortable question. Would I willingly choose to work 130 extra days per year for that amount? And for me, as time went on, the answer became clearer. And the answer is no. You see, most dentists, and honestly, most professionals, whether you're a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, you're optimizing for total income. But the people who build freedom think differently. You have to optimize for income per unit of time, right? Not the law of diminishing returns, just keep working more and more, making less and less and less. It's optimizing your income per day. It's getting control over your schedule and eventually income that doesn't require being there. That's what led me into passive investing. Not because I needed more money, but because I wanted more control over my life. Now notice I said, hey, my income went from 900K to between 5 and 600K from dentistry. That doesn't count income coming from real estate investments, from oil and gas investments, for investments in business. I want control over my life. Time is more important than money. More time with my wife and my children. Having more flexibility to do things and having more optionality. This is taking back control of your life. Now, if you're working 5 or 6 days a week right now, there's nothing wrong with that. I applaud your work ethic. I've done it. But at some point, you have to ask yourself, are you working this much because you want to? Because you truly love it? Or is it because you haven't built another option yet? Now, inside our Walk of Wealth Mastermind community, that's exactly what we help members do. Not quit dentistry, not chase risky investments, but a plan to replace your clinical income one day at a time with one investment at a time. All right, guys, now I got something to ask you. In the comments below, how many days per week do you actually want to work, right? Ideally, not today, in 5 years. All right, guys, hope you got a ton of value. Hope this helps. If you did, smash the like button, share with a like-minded colleague, and of course, click on the next video so we can continue our journey on the Walk of Wealth together. See you next time, guys. I'm Dr. Johnny Walker.